Cyprus, or what is sometimes known as Aphrodite's Isle, the Greek god of love, is the third largest island in the Mediterranean Sea. It is 3,572 square miles, which is roughly 10 times the size of London. The island encompasses citrus and olive groves, pine-forested mountains, and some of Europe's cleanest beaches. Also, the easternmost island in the Mediterranean Sea, Cyprus is approximately 47 miles south of Turkey, with the nearest Greek point, the Greek island of Rhodes, which is 200 miles to the west. Now that we've given you a little taster into the Cypriot lifestyle, we're going to delve a little deeper into this fabulous island by talking to Andrew Constantino, one of the partners of Sold on Cyprus. Hello, fantastic to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for joining us. So, the very first question really is, why choose Cyprus to invest in over investing in somewhere else?
I've been in love with the island for a long time. I've been coming since, not in the mid-70s really, grew up here. I've been living here now for nearly 10 years and I've still not seen everything the island has to offer. On the east coast you've got lovely beaches, always rated in the top 10 in Europe. On the west coast you've got lots of mountains, wine regions, golf courses. So it does offer quite a diverse place considering how small it is.
Yeah.
So for that reason it's quite engaging.
For that alone, you know, you can see why people would invest in Cyprus. But how does the housing market differ in comparison with that of the UK?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, the taxes are very, very low to invest in Cyprus. There's no capital gains tax for life, which is massive. There's no inheritance tax for life. And the stamp duty equivalent, as we call it, transfer fees in Cyprus, is actually half price at the moment. So for those reasons, it is very engaging to look at it. Since the global economic crisis in 2008, Cyprus has been in a decline property-wise, but the last 3 quarters, they've seen property prices increasing. So we're now involved in a bit of a start of a property boom. So that is always a very good indication and a very good time to think, well, let's look at something that is probably 40 or 50% undervalued to what it was in 2008 compared to now. So prices will return back to their former levels at some point. So to take advantage of it now is obviously a good option.
So now is the time?
It seems to be, yes.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
Well, that's from the top, from the experts. And what would you say are really the top benefits of investing in Cyprus over another country?
To give you an example, the council tax, it's only say €200 a year for having a 3-bedroom villa. You pay more than that monthly in the UK. So there's a lot of benefits generally. On top of that, when you want to retire in Cyprus, after you've done your investment, and say you wanted to relocate either your business or to retire there, if you've got a big pension, you could be paying 40% tax on your pension. In Cyprus, you pay a flat fee of 5%. I mean, it's like another income.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the investment of the property. It's more about the other things that come with it that obviously give you an extra incentive. Corporation tax, if you wanted to relocate a business to Cyprus, is only 12.5%. Lots cheaper than most of Europe. So there are other reasons to consider moving to Cyprus, or at least having a business there.
So it's very current and, you know, people have a lot of questions about it. So what do you think the impact of Brexit will have on the Cyprus housing market?
Well, we've heard this question a lot from clients, and personally, I don't think there's going to be too big an impact. Cyprus joined the European Union in 2004. Well, Brits have been coming to Cyprus from probably the early 80s, and in their droves from sort of the late 90s really. So many Brits were coming over and buying property in Cyprus before Cyprus was in the EU. So from that point of view, the UK was in the EU and Cyprus wasn't. Now the Cypriot government was basically open arms to the Brits saying, come over, and every indication so far is the roles are going to be reversed and everything's going to be the other way round. So it's going to have the same impact as it did when only one was in the European Union before 2004. We are the Commonwealth and an ex-colony of Britain, so we have a very special relationship. So I truly believe there won't be any other issues and it will just carry on as normal.
For someone who's thinking of getting started, what would you give, if you had to give one vital piece of information to get someone started, what would it be?
I would say research is the number one. I would also advise really on getting a good agent. We pride ourselves on being one of the good ones. We've been there a long time. We focus mainly on the individual. We're all expats. We're a British-owned company, so we've all made the move ourselves, and we've all gone through that journey. And the reason why we set up the company was because we felt we could do the job better than how we were allowed to do it, and the options we had to make that move. So it's important that you find someone that can help you do that whole process. That is quite attractive for a lot of people.
So are there any restrictions to any nationality around the world buying in Cyprus?
No, not at all. I mean, it's a simple criteria to follow, really. We need, obviously, your proof of ID, proof of address, a quick profile of the applicant, a copy of their local police station certificate, so you've got no criminal record. Once we have those sent on to us by an email, we get that to the government. Within 5 working days, we'll have a pre-approval.
So Andrew, you are exclusively heading up TWPN in Cyprus. What exactly does TWPN or the World Property Network mean? What is it?
Well, it's quite an exciting project. We're working closely with the company now to bring a global platform to Cyprus. We're bringing international clients to Cyprus on a one-stop shop, a full package basis. So we're going to be basically employing TWPN to bring clients to Cyprus for us from countries that would never have thought of Cyprus before.
Okay, very good advice. Thank you. And you know, for me, I think it's safe to say with all your information, I am sold on Cyprus. If I was going to start the process, where do I start?
Well, you give us a call or send us an email. Then we'll have a very informal chat about your requirements, your circumstances, and then we'll just take it from there.
Thank you very much, Andrew. So now let's find out a little bit more about the legal process in Cyprus with Michael Kyprianou Law Firm. I'm joined by Esme from Kyprianou Law Firm. Hi Esme, why don't you tell us what your firm does?
We specialize in all aspects of the law, and in particular we have a very committed as well as experienced team dealing with real estate and immigration.
That is great to know. So what are the costs when buying in Cyprus?
Well, there is stamp duty payable upon the contract, and it is calculated based on the value of the sales agreement, and it's 0.15% for any amounts that exceed €5,000 but do not exceed €170,000, and it's 0.2% thereafter. Then there are transfer fees, which are based on the market value of the property at the time of purchase. And in order to attract, of course, foreign investment, the government has come up with a law that provides a 50% discount on transfer fees. Furthermore, for properties subject to VAT, no transfer fees are paid. Now, there are other minor expenses such as the cost of certifying power of attorney, lodging it at the land registry, lodging the contract of sale at the land registry, and the cost of obtaining a search, but these are really minor expenses. Then there is the issue of legal fees.
That's very insightful, thank you. And what are the procedures you need to go through?
Well, first and foremost, a purchaser's lawyer needs to carry out a due diligence search on the property to make sure that it's free of any legal or other encumbrances. Then the legal representative will prepare the sales agreement, making sure that the client's interests are covered. Once the agreements are signed, they are then stamped. Usually on signing the contract, a 30% deposit is paid. The vendors are obliged to obtain tax clearance certificates proving that any capital gains owed on the property have been fully settled. Then, upon completion, the parties meet at the land registry and the property is transferred into the purchaser's name upon full payment of the purchase price and, of course, payment of transfer fees at the land registry.
Would you recommend buying through a developer or an estate agent?
Well, we believe that purchasing property through an independent and licensed estate agent will give the purchaser a more independent and realistic view of the market, and of course they will also be able to introduce any prospective client to reputable developers after having checked and done due diligence on their properties.
Okay, so you would recommend an independent estate agent. That all sounds straightforward, but are there any restrictions?
Well, Cypriots or European citizens are allowed to buy any property without any restrictions. Now, non-European citizens can purchase an apartment or a house or a villa which is under construction or built on an area not exceeding 4,014 square meters. Recent amendment in legislation now allows non-European citizens to own two properties, which can be two residences or residence and one shop with a floor area of up to 100 square meters.
Thank you, Esme, for clarifying the steps to buying and going through the costs. We are now going to go back, speak to Andrew, and find out what the best locations are. Where are the most popular destinations in Cyprus that people invest in?
Yeah, I mean, we've got basically two locations that are very popular at the moment, and one's the sort of Famagusta region. You've got Ioannappa and Protaras. Ioannappa is just starting its new marina now, and the other area is Paphos. They're the two main areas. Paphos is starting a new marina soon as well, and it's got its own airport, and it's got more of a 12-month season there, where it's got the golf courses and the mountain and wine region. So the beaches on the east coast and more of a 12-month sort of option on the west coast. So they're the two main areas that we focus on.
A good overview of popular destinations there. Let's go over to Tasia from Medusa Developers. Tasia, out of all of them, what is the most popular destination for British people in your opinion?
Paphos has a large expat community and it is a popular holiday destination for the British with multiple direct daily flights from the UK. Paphos was the first area to start developments for the UK market, and therefore most amenities, restaurants, bars, etc. are geared up for the UK clientele.
Thank you, Tasia. We spoke to the Giovanni Group, which constructs and refurbishes a wide range of luxury properties, mainly on the southeast coast of Cyprus. We wanted to hear about a few examples of projects underway, so you can see what you might be able to invest in Cyprus. One of their projects under construction is the Elite Blue Residence. The development will consist of 43 luxury villas with a private pool. It's just a short drive from the Blue Flag beaches. There's also the Lavanda Holiday Villas, which is a unique development set in a peaceful location, just a 10-minute walk away from the nearest beach in Aya Triada. The development will comprise of 56 spacious 3- and 4-bedroom detached villas with optional private pools. Then there's the Elasia Smart Homes, which is the location for 19 3-bedroom homes that come with an optional roof terrace that will ensure fantastic sea and mountain views and a short walk to the nearest beach. This modern and stylish complex will be situated in the resort of Kaparis, which is approximately 5 kilometres north of Protaras. Kaparis is a hidden gem that very few people know about. Tempted by these examples? There are plenty more Cyprus projects you can invest in. Cyprus is a tourist hotspot. So what does that mean for investors? So, Tasia, what type of properties would you say people are investing in right now?
People are either investing in villas in the touristic areas that they can rent out to holiday makers and use themselves when they have the opportunity, or in permanent homes, which tends to be closer to schools and other amenities.
And so why is it a good idea to purchase a holiday home rather than just rent one?
Purchasing a holiday home is an investment where there will be capital appreciation of the property.
Yes, it would be a good investment. And what about new developments? Are they as popular as investment properties?
Yes, they are, particularly in the touristic area where the properties and the land are readily available.
Over the years, Cyprus has become an appealing tourist and holiday resort in terms of the international market. Foreign visitors are on the rise, comprising primarily of Europeans, with the British market dominating, accounting for approximately 40% of tourists, trailed nowadays by the Russian market at 20%, with other European markets in hot pursuit. As the Mediterranean's third largest island, it is particularly attractive for vacationing families, though there are hotspots for younger and unattached tourists as well, limited to certain towns and localities. And being a former British colony, Cyprus has adopted many of the UK's customs as well as legal and other procedures. The island has a mild, typically Mediterranean climate with abundant sunshine even in winter and very little rainfall, which is music to the ears of most Brits. If you are thinking of buying a property overseas for holidays, retirement, or even if you feel like you need a new start in a better place, Cyprus has it all. The island boasts one of the sunniest climates to be found anywhere in the Mediterranean, and the average temperature throughout the year is 26 degrees, but occasional highs of 50 can be recorded, typically in July and August. The sun shines for more than 330 days of the year. The climate can be totally different near the sea from what it is in the mountains at a distance of less than an hour's drive. Cyprus is one of the few countries all over the world where you can ski and swim all in the same day. The annual rainfall in the coastal regions varies from 350 to 400 millimetres in the central plains. To put this into perspective, it rains approximately half the amount than that in the UK. This truly is a paradise for everyone seeking that sun-loving lifestyle. Cyprus has a high European level standard of life, giving you the ability to enjoy life at its full. But on top of this, Cyprus has a relatively low cost of living compared to many European countries. The low cost of living, together with the high standards of life, allows a full but comparatively inexpensive lifestyle. Crime in Cyprus is also comparatively at a very low level. The police are always ready to assist anyone who needs help. In case of emergency, one may telephone 199 or 112 in all towns. All policemen speak good English, and the legal system is generally based on common law, and our legislation is, to a large extent, modelled on the English legislation, as Cyprus used to be an English colony. So you can generally be confident of no big surprises. If this sounds appealing and you're ready to jump on a plane right now, but are worried about education and healthcare, besides the governmental schools that are of a high standard, there are many English and Russian private schools. Government general hospitals and private clinics or hospitals are mostly concentrated in urban areas, whilst health centres, sub-centres and dispensaries function in the rural areas, providing a network to meet the medical needs of the whole population. To deepen our knowledge even further, let's head over to talk about the changing property scene in Cyprus. So I hear that, foreign nationals investing in property can actually apply for residency. How does that work?
Well, there's two ways of doing it. The entry level for a permanent residency is €300,000. That's to buy a new property, and it's a fast track, guaranteed way of you and your dependents and your spouse getting a permanent residency visa. Now, that entitles you to live, educate your children in Cyprus, and to have freedom of movement by having this visa. But you can't work in Cyprus, but it allows you to open companies and work through being a shareholder of a company.
Okay.
Now, we can do the short-term fast track is about 3 months to get that residency, and that's guaranteed. But we're introducing a different way for clients who can do it for maybe €150,000, but
Wow.
it takes a lot longer. It could take up to a year. So it can be a lot more affordable, and there's no need to actually live in Cyprus or have any medical checks, any interviews. It's quite a short sort of set of criteria to do that. So that's the first sort of cheaper end of the market in terms of how they can get that. And it's basically a government program to incentivise foreign investors.
If you are thinking about purchasing in Cyprus, then it's definitely worth thinking about obtaining citizenship. Doing this will enable you to live and work in any country in Europe without applying for a visa, travel to over 140 countries worldwide without having to apply for a visa. Cyprus citizens can be issued visas quickly to other countries outside of the 140 approved, access to the best education including British universities and healthcare institutions within the EU. Cyprus allows for individuals to have dual citizenship. The investor's spouse and dependent children younger than 28 years of age are also granted the right to citizenship. no inheritance tax and favourable corporate tax regime, and a comprehensive double tax treaty network. Let's now head over to discuss in more detail with Nikitas at Nikitas & Co. Nikitas & Co. Chartered Certified Accountants gave us some more insight on naturalisation by investment. They enlightened us on how the process of obtaining Cyprus EU citizenship works. There's the review and selection of a real estate investment, the preparation of citizenship application, the acquisition of pre-approval via a pre-clearance check from the lawyer, the citizen application submitted to the government, the issue of Cypriot citizenship, and the naturalisation of children. Some useful information there from CC Law Services. The island thus offers numerous advantages and reasons to buy Cyprus property when compared to its real estate competitors. We hope you've enjoyed the programme with me. Thank you for watching.